Hello again, Halo YouTube community. It is I, Constantine Audley Wright, back again with another video. I'm here to talk today. Those of you that have been in my stream before have probably heard me make this rant before, so this is probably nothing new you've heard. For those of you that don't check out my stream over at twitch.tv/TiberiusAudley, this is my most common rant, and it is about Aquarius Capture the Flag, talking about the flag routes that people take on this map. I'm going to be switching over to attack maps in just a second. But before I get into this, I want to make it very clear that what I'm about to rant about is not necessarily calling the choices people make bad on this map, but I'm going to be talking in terms of what professional Halo generally regards as optimal play and why the most common flag route you see on this map is the exact opposite of their general approach to how they play competitive play. But I'm going to switch over to the TAC maps real quick. And, the most common flag route, you grab the flag, you take it into utility, and then you run through utility to your utility and try to rally the flag in. And if you run into any trouble in the base, you just kind of throw bodies at the flag until it's converted in. The problem with that, when you play this map, basically the entirety of the area in this red box is inside the map, inside an arena portion of the map. And once you exit out into this blue box, you're sort of outside of the map. If you are in the blue box, you can't affect anything else going on in the map. You're just kind of isolated in this hallway. And the thing about competitive Halo is that the majority of the time when you are playing, the goal is to have numbers. And the moment you are a flag carrier that has taken yourself out of the arena portion of the map, that leaves your team with a maximum of 3 players on the map, while the enemy team can have up to 4. Because all they have to do is win this fight, and you're taking the longest flag route back to your base. So during this time, the enemy team's fighting a 4-on-3 against your team, taking back map control, potentially stopping you because there's this huge choke point in utility where the flag can just stall for a long period of time. You have to wait on grenades, you have to wait on the chance to push through without getting just completely melted by players top middle, assuming they've won their fight, to retake, because it's 4-on-3, they're probably going to win that fight. And then after that, like, even if you do get the flag to the pedestal, there's a really good chance you die. Somebody else has to throw their body at the flag. There's a good chance they die. And then you're down numbers and you're open to a counter cap. This is, again, the most common flag route we see. And it's kind of opposite of how people explain pro Halo gameplay, where they're talking about, hey, you need numbers. Hey, you need numbers. It's all about keeping numbers. You're actively removing numbers from the main combat portion of the map in order to try to keep moving a flag. And again, it's not necessarily that this is a bad flag route, because it usually gets a cap, but there's a lot of situations where it doesn't get a cap. If the flag ever dies in this portion of the map, it's basically a dead cap with no chance to continue it unless you just massively overslay or the people mess up in terms of stopping the flag in the first place. But the more sensible way to run the flag within the ideas of, hey, let's keep numbers on the map. So, assuming the enemy team is more dead than you are when you start the flag run, which is pretty common. Like, if you're going to start a flag run, usually you have numbers before it happens. You grab the flag, and there's a good chance these spawns are blocked because you're closer to that than you are toward fridge. So you can expect the first enemy spawner to be fridge. When you grab the flag, you throw it out or jump out with it. It doesn't really matter which. If you have thruster, you want to throw it out and then thrust back into the base so you keep high ground. But you get the flag to about right here, where this block starts to block the sight lines of people coming off spawns. One other thing you want to generally have while you're trying to set up a flag like this is have someone sitting P2, so you can block these bottom pink spawns, because if you're grabbing the flag, there's a really high chance people are going to spawn down here if it is not being blocked. And then if they spawn down here, it's either a free OE back into your base or free route toward the middle of the map to cut off this slow run. However, As long as you have somebody top pink, that's not a worry. And if they're spawning fridge, like being forced to spawn fridge, this guy then has the advantage in any fights on that, while also having a great sight line if they do happen to get those utility spawns to go ahead and shut down this doorway. But get the flag to here, and if you're being fought, you just drop the flag and fight. Like, it's something that it seems like it gets forgotten that people can do this, because you'll see people like hard commit to flag runs all the time. But as a flag carrier, you are still a combatant. Like, you are still able to pull out your gun and shoot at any given time. And people need to work on doing that more often, like both in matchmaking and at top levels of gameplay. Like, just remember you are a combatant while you're running the flag, and then you don't lose numbers. You have 4 people on the inside of the map while you're fighting staggered spawns. And I know with my presentation of this, I made it seem like at any given time where your team are holding top middle and you're running flag utility, like enemy teams coming off spawn as 4. That's not actually happening. They're coming off spawn staggered. So if you have numbers and are able to spawn trap them, like, you can do that and still help these utility runs. But again, if that's the case where you're getting these kills staggered spawns, why are you running a long flag route where if you're running utility, you've got to about right here in the time that somebody running through mid has gotten to here? Like, which one is better? Clearly the one that's almost at your base. I should mark that actually to about right there, where you get to this slide jump and then probably halfway up the ramp, about the time that the flag is almost to your thruster on the other way. The other issue is that once you get to your utility again, you get really hard blocked at this doorway where nades can catch and you get lit up. Whereas if you're in this situation coming from the other side, like if the flag's just sitting out in the open right here, you don't have to worry about it, because it's really hard for your opponents to return it. They can't just run out into the open in front of your base while you're alive, because then they're just throwing away their deaths. And if they do so on your side of the map, they're going to spawn really far away from being able to return it. But if the flag is on the ground in utility, they can kind of just throw themselves at it, because there's a much lower chance of someone coming out of nowhere and reinforcing that. And again, like, if the flag's out in the open over here and they do that and they're forced to spawn on the opposite side of the map, that's a lot of time that you're going to have numbers advantage on this flag to keep it continuing moving. Back to a clear map here. We'll continue talking about this, but like, the main issue, or the main thing to remember when you're running flag through middle, again, you drop and fight, but your flag carrier can just leave the flag at any point. Like, if the flag's even right here, just out in the open, again, you can't really just hard commit to returning that, because you're likely throwing away your life trying to return a flag out in the open. And then you just get free kills and then continue running the flag further. But, kind of losing my train of thought here. This happens even on stream. We do this from time to time. We're human. We forget what we're saying. We get scatterbrained. But you want to get the flag incrementally, little by little. And when it's out in the open, it's easier to get those little increments. And it's easier for, like, if something interrupts you with your plan, to just drop, turn, look to slay, get whatever damage you can. Like, if it comes out that you're likely not going to live once you got the flag right here, you get what damage you can and use the fact that you were alive to help your teammates get these kills and then continue moving the flag. And it's a lot easier and a lot more efficient in these situations to be able to do that. And the other benefit from not taking it both a long way and a way that takes you out of combat is that you end up with more situations where you can get back-to-back caps. Like, if you are to slay through and, like, you drop the flag and turn and fight and you get the kills, and then one of your teammates that was top middle continues the run while you're running back to get more kills, then you end up back in the enemy base in prime position to get another cap or another pull at the very least. So then, when is it a good time to run utility? The answer to that really is when you shouldn't be running the flag. And that may seem counterintuitive, like, well, if I shouldn't be running the flag, why am I grabbing the flag? And it's usually a situation like where the enemy team is in your base and you've found your way into their base, and it's likely that they're going to grab the flag. Then it's a good time for you to grab the flag and go utility, because you want to pull them off of the arena portion of the map to come deal with you where it's isolated. Like, you just grab the flag, and once you sense it may be time for an engagement, then you drop the flag and look for, like, bait it for the fight where you will have advantage. Or if somehow you're uncontested on this side, you just pull the flag all the way back to your base while your teammates are coming off spawn. And then they're able to deal with it or help you or try to go stop the flag that was pulled by the enemy team. And another time is when it's more like even numbers, or if it's a scrappier pull where both teams are two dead, um, or you're last alive but the enemy team is all dead, and you don't want to just grab a flag where you won't have anyone in the middle of the map to help you. But again, if you're in a situation where the enemy team is coming off spawns and you're about to grab the flag, if your first instinct when you grab the flag is to run in a straight line toward utility, there's two things that can happen that also make this a bad run. And it's that players will throw grenades off the ceiling up here that will bounce on your path so you're no shields on your way through. Or they can hop up on this little platform and just have open sight lines into your back, so you take a lot of free damage trying to run the flag this way. So those are other things to keep in mind on why utility runs can be kind of counterintuitive and really open yourself up to situations that make running the flag harder than it should be if you were to just run through middle and have help and numbers the whole way. The last thing I want to talk about with Aquarius flag, apart from the rant, the important rant of why utility runs are counterintuitive and against quote unquote good Halo, when do you want to run it pink? And the answer to that really is when your team is way overloaded pink and you know the enemy team are about to spawn in utility. Like, then you can kind of run toward pink. It doesn't really matter which route you take. Both ways, the main reason pink runs become a problem, and the reason they're less, I want to say, efficient than carbine runs, was because once you get it past this like 60, 70 yard line, or your own enemy team 30 yard, your side of the map's 30 yard line. If you are on carbine side, you have a number of ways to safely get up top of your base. Like, there's the jump up, there's your shroom stairs. You can either double back on your shroom stairs onto the bridge and go over. You can throw the flag up to an ally right here. You can go all the way around back. But if you're going on your own 30 or crossing on your own 30 yard line on pink side, all you have is this no man's land where you have to go up this ramp. And in crossing, so like, if you spawn them utility, chances are they're sitting right here. Like, they've got a guy just posted up on your carbine side, just staring at that sight line. And it's almost impossible going uphill to get through that line of sight without being forward. Like, unless that player is being pinned by one of your teammates, he's going to light you up. And also it gives them an easy route into carbine side, as I erase here, into carbine side, up in a high ground advantage to cut you off as you come on with the flag. Like, they'll have the inside track to guard your flag from up top of this ramp, so they get the easy grenade bounces to blow up in your face, and you're in kind of a weak position. So the only time you really want to try to convert pink from this point, you want to make sure you are denying top carbine. And like, you run toward your teammates on pink, but your teammates after that need to transition off and deal with people coming out of utility. And that is the main thing for pink runs. It's really all I have to talk about with this specific map. But again, Aquarius capture the flag. Main note, this is the no-no zone. And I only call it that because you are off the map relative to your team if you go to the no-no zone. The rest of the map, this is the arena. You want to try to keep the flag in the arena as much as possible. Keep it close to your teammates. Keep your teammates in position to help you. Keep yourself in position to help your teammates. And you'll find in Aquarius Capture the Flag a lot more situations where you convert flags with less hassle. You're in more positions where you just continue to spawn cycle your opponents because you get that first spawn cycle a lot easier you're in position to do the second one much more easily, or you're in position to get double caps because you're back in the enemy base after slaying them out again. So that pretty much summarizes my Aquarius Capture the Flag rant. I've made this rant 100 times. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted this time doing it live. You get nerves every now and then, so shit happens. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope this helps you with your own Aquarius Capture the Flag. If you don't agree, well, I'm sorry, but again, I'm literally always right. Constantine Oddly right. You guys have a great day.